sea has many changing faces. It is temperamental, often vicious and merciless in anger. Man is drawn to it by a strange and irresistible magnetism. But those who use it are a constant prey to its changing moods and whims. But the mariner is not without protection.
Fire! Righto, chap.
The Coast Guard's job is search and rescue for anyone in trouble at sea or around the coasts. But the Coast Guard service could not operate effectively without the help of its volunteer force, the auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are local people, banded together as coast rescue teams at strategic points. Teams like the one at John O'Groats on the north coast of Scotland. Dedicated men prepared to turn out whenever they are needed, to help in a rescue or to train for it, like today. The auxiliary in charge here is Robbie Cow.
We have 4 training sessions in the year, and one of them is a breeches buoy rescue, and then we have maybe some cliff work at another practice, and then we have maybe search and rescue.
Typically, the auxiliaries are a cross-section of the local community. At John O'Groats, they are mainly crofter fishermen, people who know the sea and share its dangers.
I've been to sea all my life, and I think that a man that goes to the sea should always think on his fellow man as well, because you never know the moment that you'll be in trouble. Because I've been in trouble myself with my son at sea, but luckily we've always got out of it. But you never know the time that he may need aid.
They pride themselves on their speed in rigging the gear, but in this terrain, getting the equipment to the scene of the wreck can prove more difficult. In these conditions, the auxiliaries have a special value.
Well, we have the local knowledge. We know the coastline, and we're there on the spot. The coastline there, it's very boggy and deep heather, and it can be quite difficult at times getting it there where the wreck is.
But what do they get from turning out to a rescue in all winds and weathers?
If you can rescue one seaman in your lifetime there, I think that's worth all the money there is.
But at John O'Groats, as elsewhere, the rescue team is only a part of the Coast Guard service. Equally important are those who keep watch from the lookout at Duncansby Head nearby.
Duncansby lookout is manned entirely by auxiliaries. In the winter time, it's mostly bad weather watching or thick weather watching.
Hello, George.
And the summertime, it's mostly the short sea ferry crossing, where they carry passengers from John O'Groats to Orkney.
This pretty strong tide, it'll be against wind tide.
Yeah, could be.
Is it spraying out them around?
I think it's about the most dangerous coast around the British Isles. Got quite a few shipwrecks in the past. We'd work it with one a year. Well, George Robb, it's an Aberdeen trawler. That's one that went ashore just south of the lookout here. And a terrible night, storm force winds, heavy sea, and they all perished, all crew perished.
The Pentland Firth is a busy seaway, plagued by vicious tides and bounded by fearsome cliffs and skerries. And it will become even busier yet, as oil attracts more people and more vessels to the angry North Sea. The nearest regular Coast Guard station to John O'Groats is at Wick, 17 miles away. And although there are always regulars on duty here, the auxiliaries nevertheless play an important supporting role. Auxiliaries like Pat Sutherland, a busy young wife and mother.
I'd never been near the sea till I married.
We had a house close by the lookout, and I think it was then that I first took an interest in watching the boats go out and in. Our last station officer asked me if I would like to become an auxiliary. I had no idea what an auxiliary was, but I said yes anyway.
Coastguard Wick. This is Coastguard Duncansby. Are you receiving me? Over.
Coastguard Duncansby, Coastguard Wick, over.
Coastguard Wick.
This is Duncansby. We are setting bad weather watch. Over.
Roger, out.
Pat was trained in the watchkeeping job by the regular Coast Guards at the station. They're always at hand to advise her when a problem crops up.
Hey, Jack. Lifeboat 77 on passage.
To me, the job is something completely different from ordinary office work. You feel you're doing something useful. I think I would do the job anyway, regardless of what the pay was. But having a young family, the money is important. It can be quiet at times, but when something happens, you feel you're really helping somebody.
Coastguard Wick.
Yes, hello, Coast Guard. This is Wick radio station here. I've got an urgent message from the MFV girl, Maureen. The message reads as follows.
From motor fishing vessel girl Maureen, I have injured man on board.
But the Coast Guard's problems are not the same in all regions. The job of auxiliary watchkeeper is different at every station. At the opposite end of the country to Pat Sutherland, at Tolpedden on the tip of Cornwall, Tom Angove and Raymond Harvey have many years' service between them.
I'll be on my way.
Both are local men, born and bred around Land's End.
I've been farming all my life until about 2 years ago, apart from part-time Coast Guards, which I joined 24 years ago as an auxiliary, and been with them ever since.
Tom's long experience of auxiliary work and his intimate knowledge of the local coastline and its people are a great asset to the Coast Guard, especially on the Land Rover patrols. These patrols are part of the watchkeeping job. The Coast Guard makes a tour of inspection of the stretch of coast for which his station is responsible, calling in at remote coves and beaches to check that all is well.
Well, sometimes if there has been a report of oil pollution, or sometimes we get a report of chemicals being washed in or washed overboard from a ship, you see, and could be washed ashore, could be dangerous to the public, and we also look out for them. Good afternoon, Jack.
Hello. All right, boy.
All right, how are you?
Lovely.
The patrol is also a useful exercise in public relations, enabling the Coast Guard to keep in touch with the coastal community, people with a common interest in the sea and its problems.
I hear you lost all your crab pots.
Yes,
or something.
yeah.
So you've got nothing to fish with now?
No.
Nothing new, No? Nothing new.
The patrolman also takes a chance to call on those who regularly work with him in a rescue. But perhaps the most important calls he makes are on the members of another branch of the auxiliary service, the reporting section. People like Eric Armitage.
Good afternoon, Mr. Armitage.
Good afternoon.
He lives right on the coast, you see, and if he sees anything unusual, could be probably a boat coming in, or he would report to Coast Guard Tolpedden. Coast Guard Tolpedden, Tolpedden Mobile, patrol completed, returning to station.
But in Cornwall, as on all the holiday coast, the boom in yachting and pleasure boating has brought the biggest crop of problems. More and more people are taking to the water. Most are responsible, well-equipped and well-prepared, but large numbers of vessels inevitably means more work for the Coast Guard. In many areas, they've placed their own patrol boats to keep watch at close range. The coxswain and crew of these boats are often auxiliaries, like Ron Lake and Nigel Jolliffe. Their job is to patrol the harbours and stretches of coast not easily reached by road. They look out for pollution, navigational hazards, and for boats reported missing or overdue.
GP boat, Falmouth Coast Guard.
Falmouth Coast Guard, over.
Coast Guard Falmouth, this is GP, loud and clear, over.
Will you proceed to just off lookout to investigate object which looks like damaged boat?
Over.
Falmouth, will do. Wreckage out for the cliffs. Let's go and look for it. Falmouth, we've found the wreckage. It's an old dinghy with a hull stove in.
Over.
Roger.
As well as dealing with the problems created by small boats and their sometimes careless owners, the patrol boat also keeps a lookout for trouble on the beautiful but often deadly cliffs. Cliff incidents are common on the holiday coast. People climb to search for gulls' eggs, others get cut off by the tide and try to climb out, yet others see themselves as budding mountaineers until they come to grief.
One whiskey, Donald, one pint. Thank you, Donald.
Strike variation, any comments? Yes, it has to be the yarn, Brian.
Yeah, I can see what it is. That's the extract motor. Yeah.
Coast Guard Rescue Headquarters, can I help you?
A person falling off the cliff of retreat.
Yes, okay. Grid reference 45766. Thank you. On our way.
Coast Guard call, I got the grid reference. Right.
GPV, this is Coast Guard Land's End. Proceed to Gull Lane Cove.
Man reported in difficulty on the cliff, over.
Portreath Coast Rescue Company is already proceeding. Request helicopter assistance at...
Grid ref, sheet number 189-620-315.
The Portreath Cliff Rescue Team, like other auxiliary companies, is a collection of local men. Garage owners, tin miners, clerks, shopkeepers, mill workers, publicans, a cross-section of the local community, an expression of community spirit, always present among the auxiliaries. The auxiliary in charge, Tom Price, holds the British Empire Medal for gallantry in his rescue work.
There's no response up, must be out cold, so let's get cracking, boys.
The two cliff men, Terry Sawyer and Alan Roberts, are the most experienced in the team, but all the others are prepared to take their places should the need arise.
Everybody works as a team. You have no individuals at all. Every man is trained in everybody else's job. Either you can go down the cliff or work at the top,
Hey, as you go.
and it's 100% teamwork.
Nice easy pace, lads, nice easy pace. Lower away, gently. Lower away. Lower away. Lower away. Lower away.
If you get called to a particular cliff which is sheer all the way, 250, 300 feet, the first step over you think, well, you've got to be mad to do it, but it's a bit higher than you thought. But once you're over and you're settled into the job and your mind settles down, it's just another job, you know, it's just another piece of cliff.
Cliffman to cliff top.
I've reached the casualty. He says he's okay. There's no bones broken and no bleeding. But he's very groggy, so I shall need assistance. Over.
From the sharing of dangers, the auxiliaries become a close-knit team. But they're not an exclusive club.
Virtually it's open to anybody. Normally it's a team of 20 people. There's no problem of anybody joining at all.
Now, what I suggest you do when the second cliff man arrives down you,
Make the casualty as comfortable as you can. Then between the two of you, with the casualty in the middle, we shall lower the three of you down to the beach.
where there's a boat on his way over to pick the casualty up. Understood?
Duty officer speaking, sir. Sit rep on the Port Reith casualty. Helicopter scrambled, GPB on the way, and Port Reith CRC are in position.
Steady now. Let that rope run free round the state.
I don't say this age comes into it at all. I mean, I'm getting on with it. I mean, anybody can do it with a little bit of enthusiasm, you know, it's that kind of job.
Local knowledge is very, very important. You must know exactly what the conditions of the cliff is like, what the height of the cliff is like, what the face of the cliff is like, whether it's loose shale, whether it's hard rock, whether there are large overhangs, etc.
Easy now. Holding it up.
Having done a rescue job, the satisfaction I get is knowing that the time we spent on training sessions has now been put into real-life practice and has worked. And we've been able to do the job that we've put ourselves up to do and trained to do.
Satisfaction as well. You saved someone's life, or you could have saved someone's life. They could have fallen off, they could have gone out through exposure, things like that. It's a lovely feeling to see someone who's absolutely scared stiff and you know he's okay.
Each year, 5,000 people are saved around the coasts of Britain. Many of them owe their lives to the prompt and courageous actions of auxiliary coastguards. Without their help, the Coast Guard service could not operate effectively. With their help, the Coast Guard provides a rescue service second to none in the world, so that those who use the sea and its shores can be certain that if ever they are in trouble, someone is watching and someone cares.
Coast Guard Rescue Headquarters, can I help you?